Hi, this is Paul Neustrom, and I have the podcast killingitonline.com as well as Skyrocket to Success.com. And today, I really am excited to have a guest with me that's all the way from Vancouver, British Columbia, and that's Ray Jupiter. How you doing, Ray?
Hey, Paul. I'm great. Thanks so much for having me on.
I'm so excited to talk to you because we know each other personally. We met each other in Houston last month, and we've been part of a speaking school for a couple months now. And it's been exciting to learn your story and to see what you're offering to your clients. And you've made quite a transition of your business where you are doing some really phenomenal singing and songwriting. You're in Nashville. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your story, Ray, and how you got to the point where you were a Grammy nominated singer and songwriter in 2021, and now you're doing something to, a course to people that want to win with your voice. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Ray?
Wow, thank you. I I've been doing music. I've been performing and singing and writing songs. Music has been a part of my life since I was a child. So I came from a very musical family. Both of my parents were from the music industry. My mom was actually on Star Search. I think that's where Sinbad was on the same thing, getting his career discovery. And she worked with David Foster. My dad toured with Bryan Adams. I essentially was raised in an environment with rock star professionals. So my lullabies were electric guitar solos as I was falling asleep, or my mom doing some killer vocal solo. So it was quite entertaining and very rich, and that was setting the stage for me and my expression. I always was drawn to the piano, and having a mother who's a professional vocalist, I was in the studio a lot, and I of course was wanting to sing and be like her, but I didn't really have an identity with my voice for quite a while. So I discovered songwriting. There was a chapter in my life where I was bullied quite a bit as a kid, so I didn't feel that my voice had very much power. And I was crying in the bathroom stalls, and I just started doing poetry and needing to express all of these emotions that were bottling up inside of me. And that started me on a path with songs. I was feeling just very drawn into that world of stories and expression. I would have my mother sing my songs actually for me. When
Mm.
I was 15, not very confident still. I had a couple eccentric loud best friends, and one of them heard a contest that came up on a radio, and she was just adamant that I was going to be in this contest and I was going to win it. And I had no idea what she was saying, but I essentially just had to say yes, even though I didn't know what I was saying yes to. And she said, "Oh, well, Nelly Furtado, she doesn't have her opening act. She just won a Grammy and for Best New Artist. So she's opening up a contest for anyone local in the city to be her opening act." I'm like, "Okay, and what does that have to do with me?" She said, "You are going to win this." I'm like, "What?" So I just appeased her. I recorded my music. She put together an art package and submitted the whole thing. And I basically just was like, "That's cute. It's done. I'm not having to think about it." Easter weekend rolls around. Uh, it's the day before, and I'm just thinking in my head, "Oh, I wonder who won. I wish I could congratulate them. That's going to be so exciting." And then I'm getting a phone call saying the TV crew is going to be there in 30 minutes, and I'm going to be performing for a sold out concert for this Grammy award winning artist the next night. I was speechless. I didn't know what to think or what to do. So it put me into this position of essentially all of these years of feeling to hide and be shy away from opportunity to make this choice. Essentially, I could say no, but I didn't. There's something inside me that a seed of faith, I suppose, that maybe my voice had merit, maybe this was my time to shine. And I borrowed a lot of faith from a lot of people. Everyone seemed to really have all this confidence in me. And that just set the stage for a big change in my life to fast forward to 2021. That was a big milestone. So I got a, it was very special. I went out there and I did it scared. And I'm so glad I did, because that just helped me work with my clients and understanding in a place of empathy of when you are feeling terrified, but other people can see something special in you. And so I've made it a huge part of my path and my journey is to foster that in other people and come from a place of like, you have something special. You have something great. You have something powerful to share with the world, even if you don't see it in you right now. And I'm grateful for the people who did that for me when I was young. And I got a standing ovation. I shared songs that I wrote from my own perspective. I power wrote a song the night before, and it was so magical, it was so powerful, and I just rode that wave as I went through high school and record labels and sitting down with many different people. Opportunities brought me to Iceland, playing for the president, to being the first international performer, for their Independence Day, and then I've done some tours in different parts going over to Europe. Anyway, I landed up in Nashville, got to write with some incredible people, and just honed my craft. It's been just a really great journey, and I'm very excited about the next chapter where, like I said, is I have been coaching and teaching singing voice and for over 15 years now. And what I've discovered with the majority of my clients is there have been a lot of blocks in vocal expression. And I just resonated with that so much in understanding. So I'm so excited from what I've pulled from my years of experience, how I can put together something to help people take them to another level.
That's awesome. That's so great. And, it's exciting to hear that, you had some things that you had to overcome because I think a lot of people identify with that. They don't always have the chance to have like a mother and a father that are in the music industry. And,
Right.
you're actually rubbing shoulders with, high key performers. I saw on your website on rayjupiter.com that you've had interaction like with Prince and with, some of the names were just phenomenal that go. So I invite people to go there and check Ray's website out, rayjupiter.com. But tell me about the blocks that you had that now you help people to overcome those things that sometimes prevent us from going to that next level or even trying, and the importance of coaching and just the simple fact of being encouraged. Tell us about that with you and your students.
So some of the blocks that I experienced,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay, so the blocks that I experienced were these beliefs. I had no power. Uh, I was disempowered. I felt disencouraged. Uh, um, I help my students to free up these ideas, these perspectives that maybe they absorbed from someone telling them when they were a kid that, that doesn't sound good. You should stop that. Or whatever their interpretation is. It's just that what is a belief? It's a thought that has been thought over and over again, right? And so sometimes we absorb them from, we don't even know where these beliefs are and they're not examined, but they get bottled up and they sit inside and they influence the decisions throughout our lives. And you can be 70 years old and starting to just maybe take a look at how did that one idea when I was young hold me back over all of these years? Is that true? Is that something that I can re examine and maybe give myself permission to let it go? So I help my students do a deep dive and where are the areas that are where are they holding that? And it's trapped energetically in their body. And it's very apparent when we start working together. So I have found a way to just make that's a big emphasis. And when we think of the confidence that is so needed in feeling free, just think of like a little kid they're not worried about other people's opinions about they just are. They're just so confident, and there's sometimes something happens along our journey, maybe it's just life, and we pick these different ideas and feel trapped by them, and I want to help as many people, no longer just a one-on-one, but as many people as possible to release these barriers, these ideas, these negative beliefs. And
Mm.
that is something that I think is super key because we use our voice, as you and I know, a speaker is not just somebody that goes stands on a stage and holds a microphone. We use your voice every day to communicate, whether it's one to one with a spouse, with your work colleagues, or perhaps it is many. You are leading a team. You're on a business call. You're a coach. You're an influencer. It's for everybody. Everybody uses their voice. And actually, it's the number one thing, a skill set that Warren Buffett said you should really master this because it's going to have a huge influence over your future earning potential. Master that.
That's so true. And I used to coach salespeople, and I used to tell them, and it's just a very well known fact in media, is that the voice is the most persuasive medium there is. I mean, if you watch TV, there's no audio, it's like super boring. But if the TV goes out, you lose all the visual, but you have the audio. It's an amazing thing. My wife has been blind since birth, and when we were dating, she fell in love with my voice. And I
Mhm.
was
You've got a
so
great voice,
thankful.
Paul. You've
Oh,
got a great voice.
and I used to hate my voice. I used to think that I sounded like this little monkey or something but I worked in radio for quite a few years, and just listening to myself with a really good microphone and headphones and practicing and learning, training my voice. And I imagine you work with that not only with speaking voice, but also with the singing voice. So you have the
Mhm.
website that's winwithmyvoice.com. Tell us about that, and tell us about your course that you're coming out with.
Yeah, you pretty much got it. It's winwithyourvoice.com. Yeah. So this is something I'm putting together just a course, and you can either walk through it. There's going to be a self-study option for those that want to go on with their own pace, and then an invite if you want to do a deep dive and have more of the VIP experience where we fast track you into elevated expression. That is something I'm really excited about. Mm.
So you have a podcast yourself that I think you're just getting set up, and it's called The Bravery Path. And The Bravery Path is on Buzzsprout. And so
Correct.
that's a good place for people to go. But, I think there's a little bit more to the story in how you have become, a Grammy nominated singer and songwriter. And tell us about what's happened since then, since 2021, when all that, 2020 and 2021, we got through the pandemic. And so now you're in a speaking school, doors are opening up for you. What's happening in your life now, Ray?
Since then, yeah, that was a wild ride. I left Los Angeles after 8 years of living in North Hollywood. I was very much just I was really excited. That song, that was a great co-write that we got a nomination for. It was The Beautiful Sound of Us, about bringing it's fun. It's about voice. Actually,
Mhm.
now I'm just thinking of like The Beautiful Sound of Us. And it's our voices banding together, and it was about the power of people placing. I wanted them to go out there and vote. I wanted them to say, one perspective, your voice matters. And the listeners, you can go check it out. It's on YouTube. It's on all the different platforms. The Beautiful Sound of Us. Yeah. So what happened? I left. I moved back to Canada. and I fell in love, and I thought I was gonna move over to Vancouver. I'm actually in Victoria, which is in the capital city of BC, and I've been focusing on writing custom songs for clients and putting together a course that I've been working with my students, and I just been thinking there's so much more I want to offer to help serve people on a higher level. So that has been the primary focus. I found speaking school, and I was really, really intrigued because I'm fascinated with keynote speaking. And as you said, the voice, if you turn off the TV and you're just hearing with the audio, and that is something I am drawn to, is to just reach more people.
There's
So
still
at
power in
this
it.
chapter, pardon me?
There's still power in the voice. And so one of the things, we were sitting in the car in Houston, and after our big day of recording and podcasts and pictures and all
Yeah.
the two comma kit day, the great day that we had. And you were telling me about the transition that you've made of going from being a recording star yourself to helping others online to be able to do well, and to train people through this online platform that you've created. And so tell us, what does that do for you when somebody else that you've helped rises to the success that you've had?
That just brings so much joy in my heart, is to know that they are stepping into their true authentic self, and the influence that that has on other people that extends beyond me. I just think it makes it a more beautiful world when people are feeling the way that God designed us, is just fully standing in our true authentic selves and knowing that you are a being of love and you operate from that place. The inspiration, the lives that are touched, the amount of joy is the key word that seems to keep coming back. It's I just have so much gratitude for it. I had a student tell me the other day how grateful he is from working with me, and just so he's feeling profoundly more confident when he gets onto his business calls and working with his team, and he's taking new opportunities by the horn, so to speak. And I am just thrilled because where that goes, if he hadn't done that, who might be missing out from his expertise and what he has to share with the world? So that is something that just, oh, I get chills. I just like thinking about it, what that's going to do down the line. Yeah. So I'm
A
really,
number of free resources that people can check you out with. And one is your new podcast that you're coming out with called The Bravery Path. And so you can search on Buzzsprout The Bravery Path to find that. And then you have, of course, your website of rayjupiter.com. But tell us about your free toolkit that you're offering to people that basically go to your site and register with you.
yeah. So it's called the Charismatic Communicator Toolkit. And I've got
That's
some
a
really
mouthful.
fun, it is the Charismatic Communicator Toolkit. So I want
Wow.
to give you some techniques and tools and resources in there for you to get on the fast track right away. I don't want you to wait. I want you to be able to start just jumping in there and learning more about the nuances on what makes someone, yeah, how to start unleashing the power of your voice today.
Hmm.
Okay. And there is a whole bunch of breakdowns and little, yeah, techniques and tools in there that they're short, because I know that time is worth money. And so you want to be able to get to it right away and start seeing results. So it's going to be have something that I think of value, that no matter what, whether we work together or not, you're going to be able to take something and start inspiring other people and feeling more confident today.
Well, you picked a good website as far as to for people to find that toolkit, and they just go to toolkit.winwithyourvoice.com. Is that right?
I believe so. I'll double check this right now.
So
Yeah. With
toolkit.winwithyourvoice.
your voice.com. That's
So, Ray, it's been just nothing but a pleasure to speak with you and learn more about your journey, and you're helping people on the bravery path. and your success in not only yourself but working with students. And I just see such a great thing that you're doing, because so much of business has gone online, and you made the transition during the pandemic. I mean, you've been a part of Nashville, you've been in LA, you've seen the inside of the business. But to help people to kind of go to that next level, I really see that that's your passion. And having met you personally, I just know that this is a genuine and authentic person that's really, truly desiring to help people, that the same way that she was able to be helped by others. So, any final words you'd like to tell to our listeners, Ray?
I want you to know that your voice, your stories matter, and that if you felt like it hasn't in the past, you can borrow a little bit of faith. That I see that even if you and I have not met, that you can do great things. I know that. So I want you to get inspired to take action, and that confidence again to just chase your dreams, and the courage to just speak your truth, whether it's someone that you love, if you've got an I love you that you want to say, or anything. Don't wait. Just know that if you have the bravery to begin, you have the bravery to basically to see it through. So just a little bit goes a
It's
long
awesome,
way.
Ray. So, we gave them a number of different ways to get a hold of you, as far as your website, your podcast, and your course. But if somebody said, I want to work with you today, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
The best way would be to go to rayjupiter.com, and you can just book a Calendly call with me, and we can set up a conversation, a time to do a deep dive on what you're wanting to do with your voice.
So I've had the pleasure to speak with Ray Jupiter, who has the website rayjupiter.com. And it's been such a pleasure to know you and to speak with you today. And I just wish you nothing but the best, Ray. God bless you.
God bless. Thank you, Paul.
All right. Take care.